everybody. So the bard got spiked by a colossus, so session's canceled. I don't mean the character, I mean the player. Welcome back to another ravishing episode of the Sessions Canceled podcast. I'm here with Josh.
What? You know that means you're hungry, right?
We want the audience hungry for more.
He's
Josh.
hungry for that.
Wow, way to back justify
I mean, that's
that one.
Ravishing does not mean hungry, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
No, delightful and entrancing, you fucking
See, because I know Ravishing from Ravishing Rick Rude the wrestler, and
Ravishing is like beautiful.
What was I
both those
thinking of?
definitions make sense to me.
Wait,
famished?
Everybody shut the fuck up. I'm here with Josh, Matt, and Sam. Say hi.
Hi.
I mean,
Me,
it doesn't
Sam.
work if you don't do it in order, but too late.
Look,
Nah,
they don't
it's
know
fine.
who we are at this point. I don't know what to say.
God, they could just be tuning in for the first
I was
time.
gonna say it could be
Oh,
first
that'd be
time
great.
episode.
Hey,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Oops.
What word was I thinking of?
I don't know.
Uh,
I'll be Googling in the background.
famished?
No.
No, I said that. No, there is a word with R that has to do with like
Right?
eating.
Yeah.
I know what you were thinking of, but I was
Ravenous?
like, yeah, probably.
Ravenous.
Yeah, ravenous is hungry.
Hold on. Yes, that's
Okay.
the word I was thinking of. Ravenous.
It's like,
Wait, but ravishing is not related? What
Guess not.
the fuck? What? English, explain. Those two words are way too close to each other to have
America
no
explained
relation.
by Arkansas.
hold on.
What the fuck?
Mhm.
This is
I'm-
really
I'm
bothering
See,
me.
I just posted a picture for the group to see.
Matt, we're not
picture of
talking about your
Ravishing Rick
weird
Rude.
redneck anime bullshit right now.
This man, what if, guys?
I
tell
need
me,
answers.
what if?
So the
What if-
funniest
what if
thing
porn
is,
star
okay, so ravishing
was a wrestler.
Originates from Latin,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
then goes to Old French,
Okay.
and then ravenous is just Old French. They have no. There's the only connection point is that they're both French, and what is technically Latin in original origin.
How did they? Can we get a Tolkien on this? Can we get an etymologist to come in and figure this situation out?
So for
Or a linguist, I mean.
Matt, question: why does this person look photoshopped in this picture?
No,
'Cause
we
he's
can't talk about the
probably not.
picture that people.
Because it was the 80s, and back then
We-
they actually worked and did a lot of drugs for the abs.
guys.
I
And
see.
real abs.
cannot.
Just
No,
just slap it in there.
slap it in where, Sam?
Twitter.
Yeah, just
I just randomly gonna post.
Oh,
hey, here's
what's
this
the-
wrestler dude.
what's the-
just
what's
post
the
it with
fix-it
the
tape
episode
like?
link.
wait. What's the
Hey,
fix it
listen,
tape where it's like I
if you
saw
wanna
this
see-
photo
If you want to see the picture, you gotta
Oh,
go
yeah,
on
the
Twitter.
flex tape.
All
flex
right,
tape.
you know
Yeah,
what?
just flex tape that shit,
Yeah.
Josh. There you go.
You know what? You know what, audience?
Corker
There you go.
Ryan.
If you want to see
Right.
the weird, sexy, oiled up wrestler man Matt's talking about, go to fucking Twitter.
from the
I
from the
guess.
1980s,
Hell yeah, dude.
ravishing Rick Rude. If anyone wants to build their barbarian, there you go. Here's your picture. You're welcome,
yeah.
internet.
Jesus. Okay, y'all. So,
So what are we talking about?
well,
I
so Matt, you asked,
I
so,
don't even want to talk about anything at this point. My mind has been shattered.
That's a shame. You gotta come on. Yes, Ants. Come on. We gotta improv this.
Do we?
Yeah,
What? Like we
That's
don't
up for
improv
debate.
every single thing ever.
it's true.
I don't think we gotta do anything. There's no laws. This is the jungle.
This is now an anime podcast.
Yeah. Fucking
yo.
y'all. I watched episode 9 of
Totally.
Chainsaw Man this morning.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is such a great anime.
Oh god damn it, Matt.
So this week on original Mobile Suit Gundam. Yeah. So the
He's trying.
the topic for today, gentlemen, is risk versus reward. And you might be asking, Isaiah, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are your topics always so fucking weird? That's fair.
No, they're not weird, but they are often very broad and vague.
Exactly. That's how I like them. I like the discussion. Oh, I just punched my mic. Oops. What I mean by risk versus reward is what are things that you, as the dungeon master, put in front of your players and or entice them with to get them to do the things you want, basically. What is the reward you are willing to give them for the risks that they're going to be taking?
See, this is
inversely,
See, this is the problem with the broadness, because that's not even remotely where my brain went when you said that.
That's why I'm
Well, that's
explaining
good. Yeah, you throw
That's not
in
a
your
good thing.
opinion into discussion.
I was thinking about a different topic.
Oh, just like me last week. How does it feel?
Well,
The
it's
satisfaction.
not exactly the same, but I guess.
Inversely, it could also mean what are the things that you as a player either want and or are willing to risk in order for the rewards you want. What are things that what is your risk assessment as a player often? Where does it end? Does it end with potentially the death of a player or your character being like death of a character being like you're like, nah, can't do it? Or are you like full balls to the wall? I want that Vorpal sword, you know? And how do you handle these things?
I feel
We'll start.
Okay, I'll see where you start, but I think I'm gonna need more parameters here.
Well, you got any questions? Feel free to ask them now.
No, because I feel like I'm gonna start asking, and it's you start, and then we'll see how I feel.
Okay, I mean the simple question. So the reason why I even thought about this in the first place was actually because of your game, Josh.
That's
Obviously,
not a good sign.
Well, for reference, our wonderful listeners, we had to retrieve a special magical spear from a dragon's horde to kill Zeus. Basically, spoilers. Spoilers to nobody, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had to kill Zeus, and we needed a magic spear to do it. In order to do that, we had to fight a dragon. So I thought in the middle of that fight, like, oh, yes. We had to fight a Dracolich, and I thought in the middle of this fight, like, oh, this is cool risk reward. This is a super dangerous fight. I feel like we could die at any minute, but the like implications narratively and mechanically for getting that spear are going to be so fucking cool if this pays off.
Okay.
So that got me thinking. You know, potentially, what were you thinking when you made the encounter? What was going through your mind when you were like, oh, okay, well, I need this magic spear. I want them to fight a Dracolich, but I don't want them to beat it too early, but I need to entice them to go to this place. I got to put them in a position where they're going to want to go fight this thing.
I mean, I wasn't thinking about it in terms of a risk reward scenario, really. It was mostly like, well, it was a couple of things. One was I had the idea really early on, and when I say early on, I mean like probably first couple of sessions, that I wanted you guys to sort of work alongside the Deva and do like kind of a secret mission that would reveal a bunch of information. I think I've done this in basically every game I ran. I like having the quest where it's like, all the threads we've been tugging on all slammed together. Like, it all makes sense now. I do this a lot. Or if I don't get to do it, I usually had a plan to do it at some point. So it was like, I was partially like, all right, I want to have the like secret Deva slide in, pretend he's a person, bring them to the place. Turns out there's a lot more shit going on, blah, 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 the reveal. In terms of the fight itself, I mean, on a really basic level, I was like, fight dragon, cool. Cool. But
That works.
But from a narrative standpoint, it was like, I want them to run into this character that's going to have a ton of information that can answer almost any question they could have. And then in exchange be like, all right, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You got to help me out if you want me to like give you the info here. And then also I was like, and also they'll get a magic weapon out of it, which players never complain when it comes to loot. So
Yeah.
True. I think
Unless you gave us
right
two
there,
gold.
you may not even have been aware of it, but like knowing the players that you have, right, where it's like potentially in your head, you're like, oh, they're gonna beat Zeus. He can answer almost any question. You have a workaholic info file, I guess is what I would call Leah. And then you have someone who is so desperate to find out why they're fucked up in the head that they're willing to do almost anything, i.e. Django. So I feel like that would, that's good risk reward right there.
I mean,
Like-
I guess it depends on in context to who, because like for me, there's no risk of anything.
There's literally
Well,
risk
it's-
to like our player characters, right? Like our
Sure, there's risk on your side.
You're dangling the carrot of, hey, that you can get information. There's a dragon. There's a magic item. Also, cool fight. Who like cool fight? You guys like cool fight. I like cool fight.
I knew I was, let's call it 95% positive that this maneuver was going to pay off, because I was like, at least one of the characters is going to be like, oh, Daddy Zeus? Oh, tell me everything you got. Like, I knew there was almost no chance that the players were going to just ignore this. Like, you know, like everyone makes the meme about the players who come in. They're like, oh, we don't want to do the mission. We're going to go kill bears to collect bear asses. Everyone makes that meme. I knew this wasn't going to be that situation because A, I played with all the players in question long enough, and B, I knew the characters were gonna want this info. At least 2, potentially 3. It ended up being 3 out of 4. The 3 characters who I thought would give a shit ended up giving a shit. Big shocker.
Sorry, Josh, when you said bear asses, I was like, yeah, I've played WoW before.
Yes, that is the joke, Sam. Correct. Credit to my man Total Biscuit, who called every collection quest a quest to go get bear asses. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you guys do this like as players, where because you've been in the GM seat for a while, or you've been a GM before, and like whenever like your dungeon master kind of throws out something, that part of your brain, the DM side's like, that's probably important. That's probably a quest. It might be nothing, but it could be a boat. And you just latch on to like any little thing that could probably be
absolutely.
a
That's
story.
the only
or
way I
something.
play, Matt. That's the only way I play.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was gonna say I'm the best kind of player you want, but I guess this does have a negative side too. But like, I will basically chase any thread you put in front of me as a player, because when I'm on the GM side of things, I know that I will often be like, man, I really hope they follow this thread, and then get mad if nobody does. So when I'm a player, if the GM puts a thread in front of me, I'm like, well, obviously I'm gonna chase it. That's pretty much the only way I play, which, you know, is good because I'm, you know, sort of going after what the GM is prepping, but I suppose could be bad if like other players are not on board, or other players want to do something else or whatever.
Like if you're reckless about it, like let's say there's, you know, you rush into a room and then you start an encounter and everyone's like, fuck.
Well, I don't do it like that. What I mean is like, I will find a way or find a method or follow the breadcrumb trail in whatever fashion I need to. I'm not necessarily playing like an idiot where I'm gonna like, if the GM tells me the magic sword is evil, I'm not going to like immediately try and use it just to learn what it is. I will try and I will say, hey GM, what do you want me to do to figure out what it is? You know, I'm not gonna play like a complete dumbass unless in the micro scale, I will play like an idiot sometimes on purpose for like the goof or whatever, you know, like sticking my arm in the stalagmite and getting killed by the black pudding. I'll do that on the micro scale, but on like a macro level, I don't generally do that because I know that it can cause things to get, you know, a fucky. And so I'm not like that. But yeah, it can be a thing where if another player's like not that invested in the thing or whatever, you might have to argue with them. I mean, I'll literally sometimes do it to the point where I will do something that makes literally no sense. Like my character would not do the thing, and I will just figure out a reason why it makes sense later. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I'll be like, oh, my character's afraid of spiders, and the GM will be like, well, the only way to get the item you want is in the giant fuck you spider dungeon. At which point I will go in the fuck you spider dungeon, and then afterward I'll come out and be like, oh, my character had like a psychotic break and thought everything was like kittens and rainbows, or something. Like I'll just figure out a reason why they did it.
You just got fucking pyrovision from TF2.
Yeah. They just temporarily got pyrovision. They took some LSD. I don't know. I'll figure it out. They were doing a Zenitsu. They fell asleep, but were fighting in their sleep. Like whatever. You got options. There's always options.
It's true. What about ye twos? What ye's thinkings about?
Oh.
You want to go first, Sam?
That sounded like a Sam didn't have a formed thought yet noise.
Well, kind of, because like as a DM, I'm very much so like, I want to make this cool. I want to make this, something that the players want to do, and generally having players that I know really well helps with that, as Josh said. But like as a player, I'm like, it depends. Like my character, Leah, for instance, is very much so, like, I must know everything. I need all of the knowledge. Give it to me. I don't care what I have to do to get it. So, still funny to me that her intelligence is 12.
Yeah.
Well, you don't
Smart
gotta
character.
You don't gotta be smart to be curious.
I know, but yeah. So like Leah, sure, whatever. But like someone like Q, not really. Q's like along for the ride. Or Hoddeman. Hoddeman was around for the ride, literally. Like I usually have characters that are interested in the world, and characters that are like, I'm here because that guy's here. Or it's my job to do this, or et cetera, et cetera. So like, depending on the character, I'll be like, yes, this risk is worth it, or you're gonna have to convince me with hard facts because this loser's gonna die, and I'd rather not have that happen.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess as a DM, like obviously kind of like Josh mentioned, magic items always really good incentive for your party. Be like, listen, you guys want the Vorpal sword, you gotta go fight the Tarask in the cave, and it's like,
bro,
well,
if you're giving me a fucking Vorpal sword for fighting a Tarask, I feel like we need to talk. I feel like that treasure is a little undervalued.
yeah, no, always magic items are always good. It's the whole carrot and stick thing. It's like, I don't like the idea though of like leading players on with the whole risk reward thing, but it's been a thing in tabletop. Obviously, I could say D&D, but like in other games, like there's always that classic story of like, oh, your party wants to rest in the dungeon. You're midway through, about maybe almost halfway through the dungeon, and you guys are beat to shit. It's like, dude, does your party want to like leave the dungeon and try and long rest in the tavern? But if you leave, then the dungeon is going to get repopulated. Or do we keep pushing through and we might die at whatever's at the last room? It's like, we'll get the loot and everything. We'll get all the XP, but at the cost of being like kind of fully like halfway, we're missing resources, we're missing health. So it's always that they could leave the dungeon, but they might not want to, the dungeon to repopulate, or maybe some of the bad guys just leave, and DM, as a dickhead, just like, the bad guys knew you're coming, but you left, so they fucking left and they took their Vorpal sword. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep on the Vorpal sword being the magic item thing for this episode.
I mean, all jokes aside, like adamantine armor, it's one of those things where it's like this mythical item that no one ever actually fucking gets.
Yeah.
Which is why I was beyond hype when I actually got my own set of adamantine armor.
Nice.
Fuck yeah, dude. So good.
Yeah.
And going to an earlier point, I agree. And like a little bit of this has to do with loot, because obviously like reward. But yeah, the idea of like, well, I just don't want to keep throwing shit at them, because then it's going to devalue the things that they do get when a big moment comes, because they're going to expect it. Yeah, I think that's completely valid. And that's something I've run into, right? Where it's like, I don't want to keep being like, oh, you'll get a new gun, oh, you'll get a new car, oh, you'll get like this thing. I've learned that like the thing that players really want is just, or my players at least, like they want opportunities, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So like,
this is all right. So this is the thing I feel like I need and or want to pin down here.
Okay.
As you're saying this. So are you mostly talking about the idea of risking something of value to your character in exchange for getting some sort of reward that will sort of push the game forward? Is that generally what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So like obviously player death being the risk and like reward being magic item is the easy one. But I assume you're also kind of talking about like narrative punishment and narrative reward.
Yes.
Could also be a thing. So like, if you take the risk to chase after the bad guy, the reward might be you catch him sooner than you were supposed to, and that will help you down the road. The risk is he might get away and make things worse or whatever, right? Like, so that also.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not necessary because the thing is like what you're talking about can be on a really, really macro scale or a really, really micro scale. Because you could be talking about risk reward in returns to like, should I spend my spell slot on these kobolds as opposed to spend my spell slot on the boss fight down the road? Like that's also technically a risk reward gander. Not
True,
gander, risk
that,
reward. It's also a risk reward situation.
No, it is, and that's a little bit of it as well, right? Like the whole, do I heal somebody now, and maybe they'll stay up, or do I heal them when they're already down? Because at that point, there will be potentially less Gris, but also the chance that they could get murked before I can bring them back up.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you see that a lot of optimized play where people just don't heal, and like they're literally wait till someone goes down in combat to like burn a healing word or
that is the optimal move, but that's
it is. But so narratively, it's like, oh, I got stabbed in the foot by a spike pit trap. Oh no, does anyone have can anyone heal me? Nah, bruh, you're still fine. You still have like 10 health. It's fine. Fuck you.
So
wait till combat.
Here's the thing. I feel like we can't really talk about both because they're so far apart. So like I'm trying to figure out what lane you're trying to ride down here.
No, I think
the idea is right. Like we would start with the macro on more of a like GM scale, right? Like what are the things that you do? What are the like narrative decisions you make to sort of to lead a breadcrumb trail for the thing? Breadcrumb. I hope they said crumb. Breadcrumb trail.
Breadcrumb
for your players to follow, for them to do the thing you want. So like a good example, right, is I feel potentially, I don't really know, but when I wanted to like sort of push the whole war angle from the big arc in my game, offhandedly, one of the NPCs were like, oh, well, if we're going to do this, we're like super outnumbered. So we're going to need allies and like heroes, people who we like the militia can like look to give them morale. And my players were like, oh, that's a good idea. Who do we know? We'll figure that out later. And me, like knowing that there's like a time crunch going on, I was like, well, who can I sort of pull from in my repertoire to sort of get the players to like do this thing for their own good, honestly. And it was like, oh, well, Gennaro's character is looking for his dad, but I know where his dad is. It's a dangerous place. Like they could very easily die there. So, what am I going to do to get them out there? And sort of like this sort of story developed where this guy knew his character's brother, who he didn't know he had, and that guy was looking for the dad. So like, the threat is these guys could just betray them. They could just be lying, right? They could just leave them and kill them in the middle of the night and just be like, all right, well, now we're taking your shit. Or this guy could actually be Ripley's family and will actually lead to like their dad, who, is like a legendary character in the setting. That would be just who they're looking for,
Yeah. I mean, all that I understand. That's all like, there's probably a word for this. There's probably like a TV trope for this or whatever. But yes, that's all like narrative, high level, sort of risk one thing to get another thing and push the narrative along. I comprende, papi. But yeah,
you can't.
I've literally been saying this for years. I don't understand why this bothers you now.
I've literally never heard you say it.
I say it all the time. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the more micro stuff is like, I don't know. The more micro stuff feels like a completely different topic to me.
Well, it kind of can be, right? We had the loot discussion forever ago, and I don't want it to be a rehashing of that.
No, I'm not even talking about loot. I'm just saying like the micro scale of like, because you're doing little risk reward exchanges constantly. That shit, like, I don't think that's as interesting in comparison to the idea of like grander narrative risk reward, and B, that feels different. So I just want to know what path, you know. I want to know what. I don't want to jump around. I don't want to jump around because right now I feel like we've all talked about 3 different things, and I'm trying to like not jump around here. You follow me?
I do. I get it. I still.
Damn, I was hoping you would say the Nick Fury quote. I've elected to ignore it.
I mean, I guess you can fucking ignore me, but like, I'm just saying, I feel like so far we haven't. I feel like we bounced around quite a lot on different things. Like the example you started with for my game is more of the narrative thing, and the example you just explained about your game is a sort of narrative based risk reward scenario. So I feel like that's what you're leaning towards.
Yes.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that that's what I want it to be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. If your if your version of risk reward is like something cool will happen, I'm just gonna shove my arm in the hole, like that too. Like what leads you to make those decisions? That's sort of what I'm curious about. For you, you've already said like I just want shit to happen. So like yes, that's it in a broad sense, but like is there anything more specific to it? Is there things that you like want or expect or think about in a way as a player that the GM might not be thinking, or maybe you're on the same level with them and you're like, I got you, Chief. Let's do this together.
In regards to what?
Like pulling narrative strings. In that instance specifically.
Rephrase what you mean?
I'm confused by your.
Like, say it a different way because I feel like I didn't absorb that whole sentence.
Which part? I'm.
What you just asked me.
What are the things that you do as a player potentially to either work with or potentially against the GM to get the things that you want to, like, to get the narrative, potentially things that you want to happen? So for you, it could be, I just want shit to happen. I'm an agent of chaos. I'm just going to shove my arm in the black pudding hole because I want a thing to happen. To you, like the reward for you, right, is the narrative moves in a direction. The risk is that you're willing to put your character's life at risk to get that narrative thing to happen.
I mean, if you're talking on a small scale, sure. Yeah, I will do that kind of thing. But I don't do that on a large scale. So, like, if you think about things in terms of, like, a book, I might do dumb shit within an individual chapter, but over a 10-chapter arc, I'm not just going to be constantly derailing into chaos energy. I'm going to be following the breadcrumb thread over the larger, like, over the 10 chapters, I will generally follow the breadcrumb trail, but in an individual chapter, in a couple of paragraphs, I may do some dumb shit.
Right. Like, you want to... It's this weird balance between rewarding risky behavior that feels like you're trying to give players the incentive to just, rush in the shit, rush in the combat, but that's not exactly what you're doing. And you don't want to, like, give that impression to players to just, like, kick down the door every single time. Yeah, jump into the giant monster's mouth like Drax and the Guardians. Like, sometimes in chapters, but not the whole book.
Well, if we're talking from the GM side, no, my opinion is different, but I'm talking about how I am as a player.
Okay. Yeah, and then the question is, we're going to start with how you do things as a dungeon master, and then towards the end, we can sort of shift towards player base.
No, I mean, as a GM, I want all my players to be fucking chaos gremlins.
The pause didn't help my brain there. I just want you to know that.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
I just want all my players to be fucking
chaos gremlins.
Chaos gremlins.
I see what
Brett,
you mean.
know what to do.
Dot. Yeah,
I mean, if my players want to be fucking, they can fuck. Like, I'm not gonna stop them either.
Brett, add the reverb.
Like, I don't know. I won't stop them necessarily.
Fade to black.
Yeah, I mean, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, no, when I'm GMing, I enjoy the the unexpected. I enjoy the chaos energy in terms of like, oh, I didn't think my player would do that. So if I'm a GM, I kind of want all my players to be little psychos, and like, as long as they're still broadly following the trail, be little psycho animals. I don't give a fuck. But as a player, I don't necessarily do that because I don't think that's what most people want. Or at least I don't feel like that's what most people want. I suppose I could be wrong there.
I think I would agree with that. I'd say most GMs don't want you to just fucking smash every red button that you see.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny.
It's funny, yeah.
Well,
and
it's very funny. But
Not very narratively, please.
Well, my thing is,
there should be one character, or at least a few characters out of, let's say you have 6 players. Maybe 2 of them are like that, where they're just like, I'm going to hit every single button. And everyone's like, no! It's like, let's think about it for 5 minutes.
So as long as, like, it's... I'll give it like an analogy. If there's a hallway comprised of several rooms and the players are going through the rooms, I don't give a shit what you do within the room as long as you're going through the room. So like if they come to a room and there's 36 buttons and the players are like, well, obviously we have to hit every button. Go ahead, hit every button. I don't give a shit. As long as you're not at some point going, I want to turn around, that kind of chaotic energy I'm not about. Don't tell me you want to go collect 10 bear asses. Tell me you're staying on track, but you're being a little chaos demon within the track set before you. That's how it is for
players to be active, not, active and engaged, not just
in whatever
just nonchalant. They're going through things. They're like, yeah, I guess, all right, there's nothing in here.
Active
Let's fucking
and
go.
engaged in whatever way that means to you. That's like, you can, like, if you're on a train, you can cause chaos in every car on the train, but you can't get off the train. That's the only rule. No getting off the train. But you can blow up every car or whatever. That's generally how I feel. Obviously, there will be edge case scenarios where, somebody goes a little too off the rails or whatever. But, broadly speaking.
Okay. And like, do you have like some anecdotes, maybe some tips that you personally use to try to get players to that point? Like, you want them on the train, you want them looking through every door on the train, but what are the things that you do to try to ease them into that direction? Do you, like, is there a time crunch? Is there like something moving through the train cars? Like what are some things that go through your head when you set the scenarios up?
I mean, I think it's a pretty simple method. It's as long as there's a breadcrumb trail for them to follow. Make sure the trail is there and obvious. And then if they elect to ignore it, then orcs attack. That's pretty much my 2 methods.
That, or you can just make the breadcrumbs like neon glowing so they realize it. Because sometimes players will just miss stuff that you put in front of them, like the breadcrumb.
They might.
And like you have to like, put giant signs in front of it, point to it, have like 5 NPCs be like, look at the fucking bread.
If the risk of picking up the bread crumbs is too great and the point of picking up the bread is not obvious, then yes, that's a problem, and that requires some like moving of dials and knobs. Yeah, it has to be apparent, and it has to be apparent that it's worth it for some reason in varying degrees, It doesn't, not every breadcrumb trail has to lead to an atomic nuke, but it has to lead to something.
A nuke, you say?
Yeah, like not every quest do you get to talk to Zeus, but every quest has to lead you in a direction towards something that seems worth it. And some players are really easy. Sometimes the only breadcrumb trail they need is fucking gold or XP, and then at which point you just go, well, shrug, fucking that's easy. But I feel like that's probably less common these days. Although back in the day, that was pretty much exclusively how they played.
Now, so in the case of like, you've laid the breadcrumb trail down, you've set everything in place, and you're like, yep, they're totally gonna bite on this one, and then they don't. What are
Yeah, well, that's when the orcs attack. Right, that's where that comes in. And to extrapolate on that point, because I don't know if Sam, I know me, you, and Matt have talked about this, Isaiah. I don't know if Sam knows what the fuck I'm talking about, and I don't know if other people will. Was that a no, Sam?
I'm in regards to
What I said.
wouldn't know what
In the orcs attack thing. Have I talked to you about that?
No.
Okay.
I think we have brought it up on an earlier episode, but I'm not sure when.
I don't know, but either way, it's a pretty.
Listen, there's going to be a chart out there that has Sam appearances on it, and it's going to be about 50-50.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's a pretty. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward, basic idea. This is not my. This is not my idea. I'm stealing this from Mr. Matt Colville on the YouTubes. Although I think a lot of people, this is one of those ideas that I think a lot of people do intrinsically anyway, and maybe don't know they're doing it or didn't give it a name of any kind, but they do it.
I think he even said he got it from another game designer he met at a convention. If you watch like the video, he talks about it.
Yeah, I think you're right. So the idea is basically just my players aren't doing anything. They're not following the breadcrumb trail. They don't give a shit about the breadcrumb trail. They don't seem motivated, etc., etc., etc. How do I get them to move down the trail? You push them down the trail by having something come after them.
Yeah.
Right. That's basically the simple. The reason he uses the phrase orcs attack is my players are sitting around in the woods doing nothing and they're bored. How do I get them to do something? Well, you don't give them a choice. You attack them with a band of orcs. Now they have no choice but to do something because they have to defend themselves. And then once the orcs have attacked, now suddenly your players are going, wait, why did orcs randomly attack us? And then you as the GM, maybe you have an idea or maybe you don't, but either way, you've started something and now you have somewhere to go with it because you sort of kickstarted the situation. Obviously, it doesn't literally have to be orcs attack. It could be any sort of like kick in the ass to get your players rolling is really the idea. In our game right now, there was a point where you guys kind of had a lull, and it was kind of my fault because I realized I had sort of unintentionally hidden some of the breadcrumbs. Mm-hmm. I was like by the time I realized, I was like, fuck, I did not give a way to figure this out. So I literally had a bunch of guys attack your house in the middle of the night, right? And that's a very literal interpretation of the orcs attack thing. It doesn't always have to go that way, but that's one good example. And again, that wasn't really on me. That wasn't really on you guys. That was kind of on me not setting up a proper breadcrumb trail, which does happen sometimes where you're like, oh, fuck, I didn't think about this or I forgot to do the thing I was supposed to do, whatever it is. But yeah, if there's the lull and the trail goes dry, that's my response. It's a pretty easy one, works pretty reliably. And the reason it works so good, or at least the reason I feel like it works so good, is because the players do not have to do anything. It is entirely GM proactiveness, right? If your players get attacked, you don't need them to do anything specific. They're just getting attacked. It's very easy to just do it. I guess they have to defend themselves, but I feel like that's a basic enough.
It's pretty given. Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume they could do that bare minimum. If they don't even do that bare minimum, then I don't know, you might be in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, the orc stack is definitely a useful one, and I have it is a really fun one to do. I've done literally the same thing. I think I've talked about it, where like the players were sort of faffing about once again on a time crunch, and it was like well, you aren't nipping this thing in the bud, and they're just getting stronger, so they're just going to attack you now. Yeah. And they lost an NPC who they were quite fond of, and that definitely lit a fire under their asses. It works.
It's pretty reliable.
I
haven't seen it go bad yet.
I'm trying to think. Like, I suppose there is something to say about like if it happens too often, then like the players just sort of become confused. Like if orcs attack constantly in the middle of the night, you're like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? Like,
well, I would say if you feel the urge, if you feel the desire to do it over and over again, Like you feel like that's a requirement. If you don't do it over and over again, then nothing's going to happen. That probably means you're doing something wrong from a GM standpoint, because you're not giving your players anything they give a shit about, you know? Like if you find yourself using it constantly, then there's probably something you're not realizing, or you're unintentionally sort of fucking up, or you're just like missing some hints that your players are giving you, whatever. You know, if your plot is all about an evil cult who wants to, you know, destroy this city or whatever, and your players just don't give a fuck about the city, but you keep trying to make them care about the city, like you keep trying to shove it down their throats. Yeah, that's kind of like, all right, well, now you got to rethink the maneuver here.
Yeah, because they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
So
like,
it's
yeah, you
don't
can't
force it.
If they don't like it, they don't like it, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I kind of on that too, like, you know, as GMs, whenever you're like, you know, you're trying to plot something, lay down breadcrumbs, you know, the players don't have all the info. So for you, and this happens constantly with GMs, where it's just like, I don't get it. Why aren't they you know, following the breadcrumbs? I laid everything out. Maybe they're just not putting the pieces together for some reason. Maybe, you know, something was missed in translation. They just don't have all the information. So GMs should be like a little more forthcoming with the info, like,
Yes.
for players.
Or maybe they seriously, genuinely do not give a fuck.
Maybe, yeah, that could be
They
another
might
thing.
not, yeah.
Yeah. In which case, yeah, then, you know, plan according to what your players want versus, you know, kind of like it's all about balance. Everything, you know, is perfectly balanced. Like, you know, what do you want to do as because like if you're trying to like tell this like grand epic narrative story, but your players are just like, haha, hee hee, let's go fight some goblins. You know, it's, you know, you gotta like you give and take both sides gotta come to some kind of like compromise and be like, all right guys, like, you know, I want to tell this epic story, you guys want to, you know, just fight goblins, let's meet in the middle somewhere. It's like, oh, there's a reason you're fighting the goblins. It's like, there's a reason we're fighting goblins. I thought we were just fighting it because that was just fun.
Yeah, I will say one thing that is a bit of an unfortunate problem, or unfortunate potential problem in that scenario, is they may not want to play the kind of game you're trying to run.
Yeah, and that's always where like the session zero stuff, you lay that out, like, you know, talking like when I did it a couple months ago with my players, I'm like, all right, we're doing the Strixhaven game. This is very much more role play, slice of life type of game. Is everyone on board with that? And everyone agreed. And it's been, honestly, like, as much as I complain about the book, the campaign itself has been fucking great. Like, everyone's having fun. Everyone likes like more like role playing. The few combat encounters that they have been pretty fun, or, you know, there for a reason, or just to show off their cool moves or whatever. But it's been more about the characters, and they like that. And it's always, you got to put that in the forefront of everybody and talk to your players about that. Again, conversation. Just always talk. Open dialogue. I know it's hard. I know we're all like, you know, it's like, oh, I don't like talking to people. And it's like, well, unfortunately, this is a cooperative game. This is a team game. you gotta talk to people. Unfortunately, it's like, unless they somehow invent the way to do the one-on-one D&D, where it's just like you and that's it. I think those are called what are those books? The flip through books, where it's just like turn to chapter.
Choose your own adventure books.
Yeah, choose your own adventure books. Unless you want to just do that shit, like, you're gonna need at least one other human there.
I mean, you can do one-on-one
You're
D&D.
going off on this like I go on about people reading.
Right. I know more people should read. Looks at self in the mirror.
I didn't want to comment. I was going to keep myself quiet on that one. And,
Listen, I'm a slow reader. I read. It's just like fucking snail's pace.
Matt, we gave you a book like 3 years ago and you still haven't read it.
Listen, you know that sloth from Zootopia? That's me when it comes to reading.
I love that.
he says, my man's like, oh yeah, I'm on like the third Black Company book, and you're like, oh, okay, so you can read fast when you want to.
I don't read Black Company. What are you talking about?
What was the one that you were reading?
No,
No,
that was me.
I know that was you, but I thought, oh, well, now I just feel like an idiot.
Mistborn?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that book doesn't have math in it. Shut up! I'm an art student. Leave me alone.
No, you can't use the fucking.
Matt, that doesn't work when the three of us went to the same school.
Literally the same fucking art school. Jesus. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. If you're a DM and you're also, this is gonna be another kind of like side thing, but like, you know, DMs like out there, like, I want to tell this big epic campaign. That's cool, but kind of like Josh was saying, unless your players are into that, you know, it's a game. You're not writing a novel. You're not trying to direct a movie. Just run a game and make it fun. You know, that's it.
But what if I don't want people to have fun?
Well,
Write a book.
let me turn to the many subreddits and green text videos.
There's quite a few.
Listen, everybody,
reasons as
I don't want
why
you to
that
have
doesn't-
fun. I'm taking away sneak attack.
That's right, banning sneak attack.
Oh
Listen,
god, what did you do next? Remove rapiers?
Yes.
These games are about me
Smite,
versus
get it
the
outta here.
players. I'm
You know what?
trying to
Action
beat
surge?
them.
Gone.
That's right.
Spells out of the game.
Nah,
You can only hit things with
everyone's
the
a
stick.
commoner.
Yeah, you don't fuck the
Everyone's-
classes.
You're all commoners. Level 0. That rat? That rat's gonna kill you. You have 1 HP. GG.
Oh fuck. Oh yeah, risk reward. Yeah.
Yeah, risk versus reward. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sam, you haven't really like you've extrapolated a little bit. Like, is there a technique that you're particularly fond of?
Fond of?
Kill the
Because
child.
like, I think I know what it is, and I think
like
it's
lore.
similar to mine.
I like lore. I like being told things. When player side, I like being told things.
I think he was asking
that's-
from a GM side.
I know. I'm thinking about both. It's hard to think about. I like NPCs. I like
Yep,
using
okay.
NPCs.
Yeah.
NPCs can be a good guide for risk reward.
Like, even if it's just like there's one big NPC that's like, hey, how you doing? I'm the big NPC. I have things to tell you. Or like Avernus is a good example of like NPCs being like, you know, you're kind of guiding light. Because like I forgot her name. The Holophant.
Lulu.
Oh,
Thank you, Lulu. I was like,
Yeah.
Luna? No, that's not it. Like
Air
Lulu
horns?
recovering her memories.
Air horns.
Yeah, air horns. Recovering her memories over time. Listen, that was a great bit. Okay. I still have the bagpipes somewhere for the other bit too.
The bagpipes.
oh my goodness. Rega.
Rada.
Row. Like having an NPC either be there to be like, oh, I know about this thing, if the players just end up not. It's a little GMPC, but like, you know, having like a fallback like that instead of it being like the main source or whatever, or oh, you've been given a job, or this guy's like, oh, hey, there's a thing, or even like there's an evil guy that you've just discovered as an NPC, and like you read about them through whatever, or an NPC tells you about them, or you're like literally examining them and you're like, oh, that guy's kind of sketch, you know, and players catching on to that. It's kind of what I like to do as a GM.
Yeah, it's you're very similar to me in that way, because like if it's like, oh, how do I want them to do this thing, and I often it's like, well, let me just look into the library of NPCs and pick one out that they're like either mildly fond of or someone that they know who they're fond of, and it's usually that. But it's also like one thing that I like to do a lot, just like because this is almost a surefire way of getting the player to do almost anything, is like the IOU is so powerful. It's so easy to be like, this character will owe you a favor in the future, because people are always like, so you're telling me I can get you to do something that I want you to do in return. And it really is this great, like, sort of like, yes, you can GM this NPC for a second, you know, and be like, now you must retrieve the golden apple from me, and you gotta fight the Hydra. It's like, oh great, fuck. All right. Yeah, my big one is often like favors, and I think a lot of times I will, as a player, I will like ask for favors, over like general loot, just because I think it's more interesting to have like a nuanced dialogue about like, okay, you want a favor, what is this going to entail? What are the parameters of this? And then if it comes up later and it's like, well, you owed us a favor, and it's like, well, I tried and you asked for like literally everything on the planet, and I just can't do that, so we're gonna have to come up with something. Or if the like player fails, or let's sorry, you mean the NPC fails that, it's like, oh well, you might not get that thing you want, and you also might lose the NPC. So like, here's another like, there's another layer to the risk reward where it's like, oh, okay, now we got to go get him back, and so we can get that thing that we want. Shit, you know?
Yeah.
I know I just rambled like.
No.
That was like a fucking 50 words a second.
No, you're good. It's weird because I'm thinking about it, and like maybe it's just my groups that I've been in, like not you guys, but like the Storm King Thunder group, my normal group of my players, and it seems like they, as cool as an idea as the favor is, I don't know if this is because they don't trust a lot of NPCs or something, but it's always like, no, it's like the favor's nice. I need something physical. I need like to know like that you're not just gonna screw me and that I'm doing all this for nothing. Which I can see a lot of players, being untrustworthy because, either bad experiences in the past or just like, hey, DM, this NPC is really shady. And it's like, what do you mean, Shady McShaderson, the rogue? What do you mean? Why would you think that?
Yeah,
like,
that definitely is. I have run into that before where they're like, well, we don't trust you. And it's like, that's when you kind of have to be like, you have to sort of sweeten the deal with some material gain. But yeah, it is definitely a balance you need to strike, because you can't have the world can't run off favors, because then nothing actually gets traded, But I do
like favors though. I do like that idea.
That just,
I think
it depends on who the favor is coming from as well. Like, if it's random schmuck, then yeah. But if it's like, I am Wizard Big Mick Goody, yes,
Wizard
like,
Big Mick Dicky, man.
Yeah.
John Dark Souls, Dark Souls
Cosmic. Yeah. It's the wizard version of that.
Yeah.
Then like favors work. It's it's one of those where if you have to have your players have a reasonable expectation of what they can get from the favor as well. Like, if it's a commoner, it's like, I can expect you to let me sleep in your house today. Nothing else. I'm
sorry. No, Josh, what were we gonna say? Sorry.
This is, it's only tangentially related, but I do find it funny where there's like the sliding spectrum of players reacting to NPCs telling or asking them to do things. Because you have the one player who just is like, well, if an NPC said it, it must be true. And it's like, well, if that's how you feel. But then on the other hand, you have the players who's like, everything an NPC ever says is a lie. And it's like, well, this isn't better either, because now I can't get anything done.
Yeah.
It's like, I have a quest for you. Do you now?
Yeah. Well, it's it's a thing where an NPC will be like, oh, don't go in the cave. There's a dragon. Like, I don't believe you, bitch. I bet there's loot.
And then you walk into the cave and you get obliterated.
Yeah, and then there is, in fact, a dragon, and you get murked round one, and you're like, I can't believe the NPC did that to me.
Yeah,
like,
that's one of those things.
Told you the right thing?
That's one of those things where
why didn't they warn me? God.
In terms of the risk-reward idea, you're definitely weighing, like, personal character risk-reward in how much you do or don't trust NPCs.
You are, yeah.
And it is kind of, but it is, man, I think it's funnier when you have players where anything an NPC says, they assume is a true statement because the GM is saying it. It's like, bro,
I do have. There's
this
several
NPC,
times.
like the NPC might not have the information, because particularly this happens a lot with world building stuff, right? Because you as the GM, you're like, well, I know what I know what happened in the past, but the characters in the setting probably don't, so they might tell the players something that is factually inaccurate, but it's just what everyone assumes. Like, a great example in my game, all of the people in the city say, oh yeah, all the gods are dead. That is clearly a factually inaccurate statement, but they don't know that. You know? So it's like it's always funny where it's like, oh well, a lore tidbit for this NPC must be true information. And you're like, well, maybe.
I have a
Yeah, I mean, I have run into that in the past where the character's like, but this character said X, Y, and Z, and it's like, yeah, like
From their point of
just
view,
because they said it doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean they're lying. It just could mean that they're generally uninformed about the subject, or they can come to wrong conclusions. There was like a big like a big miscommunication in my game where their like guildmaster was like, you know, I don't want you doing this. This is like, this could end disastrously. And like, would it have? Maybe. Probably not. Like, the character is just being overprotective because he's the guildmaster. He's supposed to like look out for you people.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, don't do it. And then they did it anyway, right? And they're like, oh well, I can't believe like he was saying all that for no reason. It's like, well, no, there's a definite reason why he didn't want you to do it. He can just be maybe thinking about things too emotionally, right? Like, logistically, it's like, oh well, we risk our lives and we can save 50 people, 100 people, whatever. He's still gonna say, well, no, I care about you people, so I don't want you to get in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as like nobody in the city of Kentriku knew that Zeus was still alive, you know? So they said he was dead. It's like, yeah, well, because they don't have the right information. They are lacking vital statistics. The guildmaster says this is going to go badly because maybe they have the wrong information on the situation. Same idea.
Now, to extrapolate on that, do you often tell the players like he just might not know, or do you just like the GM, like the NPC said what they said? It's up to the players. If they believe random nonsense, that's on them.
put it on a shirt. Here it comes. It depends.
Okay. Yes, it depends. Like, generally though, like,
I mean,
if it's something stupid, I'm assuming that you're like, no, he's obviously fucking with you.
I'm not,
be upfront with them about it.
I'm not going to clarify. Like, you need to, my take is you need to look at the NPC in question, consider the scenario, consider the character, what might they reasonably know, what might they not reasonably know, and draw your own conclusions. I'm not going to tell you. Because that's part of the game is like, also it makes NPCs feel more real when, you know, they assume something incorrectly, or they have an opinion on a situation that's flavored by their beliefs, or they were only handed half the info. You know, that makes characters feel more real because they have actual flaws and actual problems that happen in real life. So generally, I'm not gonna tell you, oh, he's lying or he's not lying, or oh, he doesn't know. Like, I'm not gonna say that. You gotta put together. If the weapon shop owner, who's just some dude in the town, tells you that yeah, you know, there's actually 30 bajillion gold up in the mountain, don't trust him. He's just some dude. Whereas if the grand wizard of the country tells you there's 30 bajillion gold, better chance he knows what he's talking about. The one exception I'll make to that scenario is if I conveyed the information and there was a misunderstanding on a player-to-player level, then I'll be like, oh, okay, pause. But that's pretty much the only time I do that.
So, like, all right, and this is not accusatory. This is gonna sound accusatory, but it's not. Does that extend to the point of like characters just going on completely wild goose chases? Will there ever be a part where you're like, okay, let's bring it back now. Come on, like. Or will you let them let it rock out until it potentially either fails or just leads to something else?
I will let it rock out unless it is a super obnoxious and pointless disruption. So, like, if the players come to a door and they try with all their might to open this door and they fucking pull out a tactical nuke to blow up the door, like, at a certain point I'm gonna be like, guys, there's nothing behind the door. It is like you are, I don't know why you're on this mission, but like, just ignore the door. It's fine, move on. If it's like a genuine, just like complete fucking waste of everyone's time. If it's a scenario though where they go on a quest because they have a certain set. They have information A about their objective when they actually needed information B about their objective, and they go kind of on an incorrect mission, I will let that rock. Yes. Because generally, not always, but generally, what comes out of that scenario should still be interesting when they realized, oh, we fucked up. You know, there's still an interesting bit of drama potentially at the end of the path. But if players get really obsessed with this, if you like over describe a wooden chair and then your players fucking lose their minds as they try to fucking stick their dick in the wooden chair, at a certain point I'm gonna be like, guys, leave the chair alone.
I was literally about to reference the chair in the, I think, campaign 2 of Critical Role, where they're investigating a room,
the torture chair,
the torture chair, and they spent like good 10-15 minute bits on being like, but Matt, what about the chair? And it's like, It's just a fucking chair. That kind of bullshit I will put a stop to.
Another good example in campaign 1, when they were fucking around to open the door to the cathedral, I would not have let that go on as long as Matt Mercer let that go on. For the same reason. Because there's no nothing interesting came out of that, right? They opened the door to get into the place. Like, failing was not an interesting outcome. Them fucking up was not an interesting outcome in any way.
What? It was just funny as shit. What are you talking about?
It was funny because they made it funny. But if it was a bunch of players who are not as charismatic, it would not have been funny. It would have just been irritating. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like Matt planned, like, oh, if they fail to open the door, something else is going to happen. Like, they just failed to open the door. That was it. That was all that happened.
That was it. Yeah, it was barricaded on the other side, and it was just a constant stream of failure after failure after failure.
It ended up being funny. It ended up being a good goof because of the players involved. But that's that has nothing to do with the game or Matt's planning. It was just the players involved made it funny. You know what I mean? Like, those are not the same thing. Charismatic players can make basically anything stupid seem not, you know, like, but that's different.
Yeah. I think, kind of side tangenting from this, have any of you guys looked up anything from, Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the Feywild kind of circus adventure that came out like last year?
Very little.
No.
So one of the interesting
I've heard
things
about it secondhand.
Yeah, one of the very interesting things they did in that book is that every combat encounter can technically be avoided through either conversations or things the players have done earlier in the campaign leading up to that combat encounter. And do you guys reward players for, like, I don't want to say like finding an alternative solutions to combat, because sometimes as a DM I'm just like, I don't know, orc attack, whatever. But sometimes maybe it's not just an orc attack. Maybe it could be something a little more meaningful. Or maybe it's, maybe that does happen where it's like they're fighting orcs attack and maybe they want to try and avoid combat somehow. Like, do you guys reward, this is the whole risk reward, do we gamble on like trying to talk to the other side or maybe try and stop fighting? Do you reward that more than just slaughtering or beating the shit out of whatever they're fighting?
Often, yeah, I do. I try to, like, in as many scenarios as possible, because it for me, it's more of like a thematic thing, right? If the whole point of the game is like the world's over, but it's being rebuilt, often taking the barbaric option just sets things back. So I encourage players to, like, choose something alternate that will make the setting better as a result, right? Like the whole, like, leave the world better than the way you found it. So, like, a good example of that is the fucking NPC that follows them around constantly, the Hyena Man. He was just a bandit. Like, they could have, and at one point we're going to just murk his shit. But then they were like, what's your name? What are you doing here? You don't really seem like a bandit. Do you want to come hang out with us and come home with us? And then not only did, on a much more micro level, there was one less thing that had HP that they had to fight. They then got an ally and a friend who was able to help them absorb damage for them, come up with solutions with them, and they maybe, like, were thinking about things too deeply in one little rabbit hole. And to me, that kind of reward is like it's priceless. Because there's Barker has had almost limitless narrative potential to sort of play against the players, and like he's a bandit, he's used to like just killing people, but also like he has this like naivete where it's like, oh well, why do you guys eat together? It's kind of weird. Like, aren't you afraid you're gonna steal each other's food? And then they're like, what? No, it's the mess hall. Everyone eats. It's like a camaraderie thing. And he's like, yeah, that doesn't compute. That sounds weird, you know?
I will not necessarily reward it more, but I'll reward it roughly equally usually. Like if you have a good enough way to circumvent the thing, I will generally give you something for the thinking. I'm not gonna like stop you. Maybe I'll get annoyed if I was like excited about the combat encounter, but you know. Oh well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's one of those things, right, where it's like rewarding them just sort of means like I want my players to think outside the box as much as possible, and sometimes they don't want to. They're just like, oh, we just want to murk something, and I'm like, all right, cool, fucking here's some hit points, take a chip at them, you know. But if they were like, oh well, there's the bandit, like Brett's character right now wants to make like a rehabilitation center for bandits. And going to an earlier point,
interesting idea.
Yeah, going to an earlier point, one of that guildmaster was like, no, that's never going to work. Now, as the GM, I'm not saying that it's never going to work. Who fucking knows? You could pull it off. I would love to see it happen, but that character, that NPC, who is very anti-bandit, and was like, you know, he was blowing heads off by the dozen in the big fight. He's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck about these people. They don't need rehabilitation. They need to be in the ground. Like,
yeah, that's that same thing of the NPC is responding relative to their experience in life, but that doesn't mean that what they're stating is 100% the case.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I will reward them as much as I can reasonably for thinking outside the box, because that's what I want ultimately. I don't want to put something in front of them and then them go, okay, we're gonna go do that, and then they just waddle off and kill it and take whatever it's got on its body, because that I feel gets like monotonous, and it just sort of feels draining when you're sort of just playing by the beat. Like when they try something unexpected, it's exciting to sort of be like, oh, well, I don't think about it from this perspective. Shit.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying about, as long as you're staying on the train, you can do whatever you want within the train cars, right? That's how I want the monotony to be broken. I want you to follow the beat by beat most of the time that I'm putting in front of you, but what you do getting from point A to point B, you know, activate your Chaos Goblin energy. That's how I like mitigate it, because generally, because if I'm putting the beat by beat in front of you, that probably means I'm interested in it for some reason. So I would like you to, you know, interact with the thing that I give a shit about on my side of the table. Because otherwise, I don't know, what am I doing here?
Well, what about you, Sam? Nice. Okay. See, I'm trying to think. Were there like encounters from Curse of Strahd or Avernus that like? The only thing I can think of at the moment is the whole Archon thing. But that was more of like we walked into the Lion's Den and we wouldn't be able to leave without.
I don't think you were intended to fight that encounter anyway.
No, I don't think anyone is.
No, you're not.
Also, Matt,
Tell you that for free.
you thought of that and not the baggening?
True, the baggening is a good one. Oh, I think they're both pretty valid, right? Because it's like, are we really gonna fight Daddy Manganello? I don't think this is gonna work. You know?
Yeah.
No,
Well, that's what
I'm gonna be honest, you are not supposed to fight that because it literally says an infinite number of Ushabti, or not Ushabti,
Abishai.
Abishai.
Yeah, thank you, Abishai.
Fuck.
Ushabti's an Egyptian thing.
Abishai.
Abishai. An infinite number of them spawn.
Oh my fucking god! Because there was
like
a
it literally
fuck
says
ton.
infinite. If it doesn't say infinite, it's like something 100. Like
Well,
you're
there
not
was-
supposed to win.
Because it was like he had all the fucking Abishai. He had his turtle buddy. I think there was like a giant one of the dragon. There was a giant white dragon
Yeah,
there.
his
Yeah,
pet
his
dragon.
his white dragon. What the fuck that thing's called again?
His giant
know.
fucking minotaur boyfriend. And fucking and then Archon himself, and it's just like fuck, dude. It's like what level were we to when we met him? Like it was
12.
11,
was it 10?
something like that.
It feels earlier for some reason.
No,
Huh.
it was pretty close to the end.
But yeah, but what would you can guys consider the bagging a risk reward thing? I guess because
totally.
it's like the
100%.
planning of like this might not work? Question mark.
Yeah, well, it was that like we could just fucking die, but then we thought outside the box, accomplished the goal, and got 2 levels out of it.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was also a scenario where you were not supposed to, like the
You're not supposed to fight those.
the witch
hags.
scenario. What you're supposed to do with the windmill is you're supposed to like go there and be like, oh fuck, we can't fight right now. Leave, come back later.
Come back. Yep.
That's the intended one on that one. So we definitely fucked around and found out. But we found out on our side
Found
of
out
the
good
board
things.
that time.
But is there any specific examples you can think of, Sam, like just from a DM side that you're like, yeah, these, they avoided this big no fight, good job reward.
Strahd.
Oh
Himself.
shit, right. Yeah,
Would you count Strahd? Because I think that one's a little different. I feel because you were literally like Strahd just doesn't want to fight. Like he's
That's
like,
just how the conversation ended up going and how I ended up feeling about Strahd in that conversation specifically. Because like the entire time, every time that like Strahd was there, I got this really depressed feeling versus like anger and resentment.
this was the Strahd that has done Curse of Strahd 100 times, and he's like, I've seen 1,000 fucking adventurers kill me before, and it doesn't work. Just
Yep.
fucking stop, please.
yeah. The moment where Strahd was like, look, this can go one of 2 ways. Either you kill me, in which case I'll be back and this doesn't change, or I kill several of you, in which case you're fucked and there'll be more people and this is not going to change. So make your decision. And I think that was so great. I still talk about that to this day as one of my favorite encounters of him being like, bro, I just want to die. Like, I'm done. I'm done. I give up. Fuck this.
Because Strahd is such a iconic like character in D&D, but most people who have either read the adventure, heard of the adventure, played in the adventure, most of the time that you hear stories of Strahd, it's never the like we can make a deal, but it's never like the listen. I'm tired of being the ruler of this place. I just want to I fucked up a lot of shit in the past. I think I finally realized that. I just want to be rid of the dark powers. I don't want to be in Barovia anymore. I'm done. Most of the time when players when they play in Curse of Strahd, anytime they make some sort of deal or broker with Strahd, it's always for power and for you to be servant of Strahd later on. Where he's just like, all right, he's like, I won't kill you now, but if you work for me, like you'll not only be able to, live forever like me, but you'll get your own room in the castle. That sounds good, right? My giant spooky castle. You want to live here with me, buddy? Want to be a pal of mine?
It is spooktacular.
Yeah.
Oh, Obatala. That's the name of the white dragon. I remember knowing the name of the dragon when we did that encounter in Avernus, and it makes me sad that it slipped my mind.
I didn't even know it had or it gave you a name. I don't remember the dragon saying the name. I just remember it was Cruel with a K, the turtle. And he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna bring you to fucking Joey. He's over in the tent over there.
I'm gonna
plotting
bring
some
you to
shit.
Big
He's just
Joey. Archon, the mafia boss, bringing you to Big Joey.
An
I
offer
don't
you can't
believe-
refuse. 8 souls.
I don't believe they say the name of the dragon in DOA, but I do remember him saying it in Critical Role, and I figured like he said the name, not Matt, so I just figured that's just the name of that dragon in his home campaign.
Oh,
Probably.
maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, we talk a lot of DM side stuff. I don't know if you want to try and move on to player stuff, or if anyone has any other like GM thoughts of the risk reward.
We could. I mean, I still think it's just. Oh no, train of thought. Where'd you go? Please come back. No, not while I'm
there it
hosting.
goes. Off in the distance.
There she goes.
Damn it. Now I'm just thinking about that fucking white dragon.
Watch out, girls.
Fucking White Dragons? I mean,
I forget the song again.
I still, my favorite thing, just White Dragon knowledge, is when in an Acquisitions Incorporated game, Chris Perkins, literally, he's just like, and it's like, hey, can I, one of the players is like, can I just roll Arcana check or some sort of history check? Do I know anything about white dragons? Can I like reason with this white dragon that wants to kill me? And Chris Perkins like, yeah, sure. He rolled some sort of average number. And literally Chris Perkins, head lore man of D&D, literally is like, so white dragons are fucking dumb. In front of a giant audience, and it's just like, oh no.
I like his honesty.
Oh, fuck.
I like his brutal honesty.
Because they
I
are, it's
love
funny because
that.
like in their lore, they are the more animalistic of dragon kind, but they're hunters. They love to hunt shit. But I guess in the moment, he's just like, nah, they're just fucking dumb animals. They're fucking stupidest dragons of all. And it's just like, damn, bro, what do you
It's
gotta
a
get
weird way to put it,
the
but you know,
ice
I know what he
dragons.
means.
Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know.
I-
Just to me, that always, anytime I hear white dragon or I see art of the white dragon, I just hear Chris Perkins in the back of my mind. It's like they're just fucking dumb.
Just fucking
we're gonna remember that
dumb
forever.
as shit.
Stupid ass. Fucking. So I mean, now that we're on top of dragons, I watched a lot of Mr. X. I think old lore is really interesting. And he just had a video on like an ancient white dragon in or older editions, who's just super lonely and likes to talk to people. So it'll just fucking kidnap people and talk to them for a few days and then drop them back off wherever they were. And they're like, all right, cool, thanks. I'll eat you next time I see you though. Bye.
Is that
You're
the
like,
one
"Yo,
in
same,
Icewind
bro."
Dale?
Yes. No. Yes.
Or is that the one with the skeleton on her back? or
Yes.
whatever?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
in my Icewind Dale game, we bumped into her by accident and nearly avoided dying. It was like,
Did she just want to talk?
no, well, kind of. It was weird because she was, I guess, buried into the snow. And for those spoilers for Icewind Dale, she has her best friend who died fucking God knows how long ago. His frozen skeleton corpse armor is still on a saddle on her back. And so we saw this like dude, and we thought it was just like an armored dude or someone sitting on a log. So we're like, what the fuck? And we're in the middle of a blizzard out in the middle of nowhere. So we go over to check it out. And we're like, oh, it's a skeleton. We start poking at it. I'm like, can I try and, see any magic shit on it? And then the ground starts fucking shaking. And it's like, oh. And so she got upset that we were touching her dead friend. Because I don't remember. I think Joe, when he was running it, I think she still believes he's alive. I could be misinterpreting.
As far as I'm aware, she knows he's dead, but it's like she likes to talk to him. Like she knows
like
that he
he's,
won't respond, but she's just like, I just want to talk to somebody.
Oh, because he made. Okay, see, maybe it was the encounter because like she was when she rose up from the snow, and not that she like attacked us, but like she like frightful presence, like don't touch him, and we all like ran away like a bitch. And we're like, all right, don't want to deal with that. Nope, don't want to fight
I don't
dragons
want no
today.
smoke, bro. I don't
like
want
we're-
no smoke.
It's like we're level 3, please.
Nobody touches Steve.
Actually, so thinking about the risk reward thing with Icewind Dale as a player, as a warlock, like it's so easy to do that stuff where it's like your patron could just be like, I have a quest for you. Do the quest, you get more magic juice. And it's like, yes, magic juice. I need that. I need more power. And that's literally all my guy did.
Virgil.
Was because in Icewind Dale, my warlock patron was Larlock, who, if anyone looks up D&D lore, is like the super evil lich, fucking mega patron. I was playing the new Undead warlock class that came out last year, or whenever Van Richten's Guide came out.
About a year.
And basically, he kept, he would keep giving me like, hey, go get me this thing. Hey, go kill this guy. Hey, go do this. And me and one of the other players, because we were like kind of duo being evil together, we would accomplish everything. And at the end, I ended up, he would give me like a magic item or buff up, a spell I have, or give
And
me
then he
like
touched my
a
butt.
feat. Yeah, he touched my butt. Yeah. And it's a very good, like, if you're playing someone like a warlock or maybe even a cleric, you can kind of do this where it's like your patron or your deity gives you quests to do dangerous things, and the reward is, you're doing me a favor. It could be magic items, it could be more powers, it could be a homebrew, like little tiny like ability where it's like, I don't know, a player really likes to trip people. Like maybe they specifically made their character to be like, I want to be a cleric and I want to specifically like trip people and then bash them in the face to arrest them. And it's like, cool, I don't know, maybe you give them like the fighter maneuver, and to be like, yeah, once a day you can do that tripping attack as a fighter maneuver.
What would be a good reward for a lot of risk? It could, once you hit level 10, maybe your divine, your
the first one works.
maybe it just goes off. Maybe it just automatically goes off, right? You do enough favors, your patron just slides you a crisp high five. You know what I'm saying?
I hate to be that guy, Isaiah, but there's no risk involved there.
Well, the risk is like doing the mission, right? If your patron is like fucking, if your patron's Grumsh, and he's just like, fuck up everything,
kill every elf and an elf, and it's like, whoa, wait, hold on. Listen, man, I'm willing.
Every elf does a lot of elves. I'm just saying.
I'm willing to kill some people. However, I'm not willing to, genocide all elves here. Come on. Like,
all elves.
Like, no, all elves. I need you to put every single ear on your necklace. It has to be a trophy, and it's like, come on, man, like that. I'm in Waterdeep. I can't do that here.
Fine, kill every elf in Waterdeep.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty effective risk reward. And like, God says smite, and you're like,
well,
at
Skeeter?
what spell slot level?
Yeah. Pulls out mace shotgun.
Reloads mace. Yeah, I know this is completely related, but I fucking, there's like this really dumb joke in some of the people we went to school with about the fucking Scary Movie 3 reload shovel bit.
Yeah.
So whenever I think of someone's like reloads fucking greatsword, I'm just like, yes, I need that.
I always just think
shotgun
about
shell tinking out of it.
I think about Henry Cavill reloading his biceps in that one James Bond movie.
Oh my god! Did you know he did like he was there like he did an interview where he answered why he did that.
Oh,
he just did. He was like, oh, it just seemed right in the moment, and then he didn't do it for the next take. And the director was like, wait, what? You didn't do the thing. And he's like, what?
Reload your
like,
biceps.
The thing that you did. And he's like, oh, okay, that was good. I should do that. Oh, okay.
He was in a James Bond movie?
Yeah, he was the bad guy.
He was one of the bad guys.
That was literally that James Bond movie where he had the massive stash is the reason they had to CGI his stash in Justice League.
Oh, no, that's not James Bond. That's the movie with
Mission
Tom
Impossible.
Cruise. Yes, thank you. Okay.
Oh no, the completely different series, Mission
Well,
Impossible.
hey, listen,
that has nothing
James
in
Bond is
relation to James
cooler.
Bond.
Listen, James Bond has cooler gadgets. That's
All right, sure.
Yeah. He's got a car
That's the
that can turn into a
difference.
boat
yeah,
and a watch that can turn into a boat
and
I don't-
and a pen that
doesn't have an actor with Scientology.
back
True.
that can turn into a boat.
that can turn into a boat.
And Tom Cruise can just turn into a boat.
Dude, you know what? His last name is Cruz, so
It
like
is
I wouldn't
Cruise.
put
Hey,
that
there you go.
into
It's
a
all
cruise ship.
possibility. Yes.
Oh, now I just imagine
It's
Tom Cruise as
frankly
a
horrifying.
transformer, but he
I'll
turns
send you the
into a
video
big
later.
boat.
Oh my god! He just fucking turns to a boat like Elastigirl in the first Incredibles.
Oh,
He just
But it's a
into
cruise
rough
ship.
boat shape. You're like, oh.
Awful.
yeah, no, those classes specifically are just pre-built for that. Like, do a thing, get a reward. And the more dangerous the risk for your patron or deity, the better the reward. I think also like barbarians are like, just the barbarian class in general is like a good like risk reward. You're like, yeah, I'm up front and I'm taking a shit ton of damage. However, I'm also up front and I can smack the baddie real good. And it's like I'm trading my health to hurt people.
To hurt people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody else? Any other player stuff they think of?
Well, for me, like, I think the often for me, the things that I'm willing to do for like a reward potentially, how do I want to word it? It's
I almost want to say the $20 is $20 thing.
no, not that.
Listen, GM, like a plus one Vorpal sword is a plus one Vorpal sword here. Come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, just take it.
True.
Well, what's gonna happen?
Magic item is a magic item, man.
I will basically do anything to seek out more back and forth. So like, a character being like, I want answers. Like that shit, I will always be the person who like I want the character who like needs to find out about his family, or I want to talk to the like NPC about like if there's the fucking manticore, if it's got like all its scales or sort of spines on its tail to know like what we're going after. Like I just want to know more, and I want to be able to talk to people and like to a fault, because like I feel like I do talk a lot during games. Here's where I reference why Django is so difficult, because Django doesn't talk much. Although I talked a lot last session, which was like unique. I was very excited. I finally got to like engage. It's like yes. But yeah, I want to push not only the story, but I want to push the characters. I will do basically anything to get more character interaction with other NPCs or other players. And I think I brought this up in a way older episode, but I think a good example of that is like my character threatening to kill AJ's in my first ever game, right? Where I told him like the puts gun to your character's head. Like I know I wasn't gonna kill him, and I'm pretty confident that the other players knew that I wasn't gonna kill him, but there was just that like little twinge of like he might do it, And I like that so much, because it was like, yes, maybe it's like straining the characters and potentially even the player relationship, where it's like, really, dude, you killed my fucking character, you asshole. But the moment that we had in that, where it's like, did you betray us? Did you really sell us out to the bad guy? And him be like, no, I did a job for him, but I didn't know he was bad. I just took whatever job because I needed money, like the risk in that again is the potential harm to the two player characters and potentially the players, but like the reward of just this great deep inter-character moment, which ended with the characters being closer than they were previously, where it's like the character was like, oh, all right, well, you did fuck up, but I can see that you had the best intentions, and I do too, and that often leads to problems, so maybe we're not so different. I will fucking die for that shit.
You really just want to know where Rachel is?
Yes, I do want to know where Rachel is. Apparently she's in the wrong warehouse. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah, wrong warehouse.
Bring me back my family.
Yeah, I mean, I will also, basically to like too long didn't listen what you just because as opposed to read the TLDL version of that is like, yeah, you will push the buttons, you will push whatever buttons are required to get more like back and forth interaction out of a character or out of another player, which I will generally do also, assuming it like makes sense, and also that we're not trying to like move on to the next thing, because there are times where you might try to do that and the GM's like, guys, I would really like to get to the fucking dungeon, can you stop talking about coffee? And in those scenarios you're like, all right, anyway, moving on. But other than that, yeah, I'll fish for the back and forth. I'm making a fishing rod motion that no one can see right now. I'm making a reeling. I am now making a reeling motion.
Okay. I mean, it's weird because as a GM, I actually love those moments when play. Like, yeah, it's like sometimes you're like, all right, let's get to the game. But also, like, I like those moments where at PCs, they just want to talk about coffee and the conversation ends up going like 10, 15 minutes. And then me in the background, I'm like, I could listen to this. Or I could just start,
Yeah, you start typing notes, and then the players stop talking, and you turn back, and you're like, I have no fucking clue
you
what
guys
you guys
done.
just
It's like,
said.
yeah, so your coffee turns into mimics. I mean, wait, shit, what were we talking about?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. It's like, wait a minute.
I will often turn back and be like, I'll be
Let's sit
honest,
down.
I didn't hear any of that conversation.
Yeah, for me, I actually like when the characters talk about coffee for 2 hours. I'll finish prepping for that session, and then I'll be like, oh, I don't have to prep at all for next session. This is great. I can just kick back and relax, and then eventually, if like I feel like a character is being left out, then I'm like, all right, well, fucking fishing line cast.
Jim Bob,
you know?
what are you doing right now? While everyone's having this
like,
fucking weird ass conversation about mimic coffees.
How you feel about
I
coffee, Jim
literally
Bob?
had a bit where it's like, oh, X player, you're walking into the street, you notice that they've been in the same spot arguing about the same thing since you left. It's been about 2 hours, and they're just like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? You know what I mean?
The answer is coffee. That's what's wrong with people. JK, coffee is the drink of the gods.
Incorrect.
No, what?
Now we're gonna have a 2 hour argument about coffee.
Oh, I will.
Oh boy.
Oh, I will. But not right now.
I'm just saying, if you need coffee to complete your day, you're a weak human being.
Says the
That's
leaf
all.
juice man.
I don't even drink it every day.
I don't believe you.
I literally don't.
You might not drink
just-
it every day, but you admitted you're like, oh, I got a cast iron one so I can pour several cups of tea. And you're like, you drink more than one at a time? You just keep getting refills? Shit, bro. I don't know about all that.
This is a true statement.
Damn.
Yeah,
Good call,
it's a cast
man. I like
iron.
this.
It's a cast iron kettle, and it has the catch so that you can put loose leaf in it. So you can brew multiple cups, and I will occasionally brew multiple cups for me and my girlfriend, rather than having to,
The cop out.
Well, listen.
The adjustment on the
Kettle before you
story.
had a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Don't play games.
This is true. This is the time where I was in between. I know. I'm aware.
Had a kettle before you had a
In between. He says like he was in between jobs. Oh, I was in between.
Yeah, I was transitioning from my checking to my savings.
God.
Oh shit! Actually, I just fuck. I know we were talking about player stuff, but I just realized too, with like kind of DMing side, the backtrack it just for like 1 sec. No, boss fights are usually, and like Josh, you just had them fight the big dragon the other day. The
Stop putting
Dracolich.
me on blast. What'd I do?
No, I'm not. No, I'm blast. I'm saying like a good risk reward thing is
I'm watching
boss
you.
fights or big monster fights where it's like whether you're using XP or magic items or whatever the fuck, it's like the more deadly the fight, the greater the feeling of accomplishment your players get. And it's just like we took down that fucking Dracolich. It's fucking great. However, there is that little double-edged sword to it where I feel like some players might not want to fight a boss constant. Like if you're throwing like a fucking giant, like, all right, 1 week we're fighting a dragon, the next week we're fighting a Dracolich, and the next week we're fighting a Tarask dragon. Like eventually some players are just gonna be like, listen man, I just want to go back to role playing with my buddies back in town in the tavern.
I've literally,
like,
I've had that happen.
oh.
Yeah. I've literally had like a player be like, "We're fighting too much. I just want to go back and talk with my friends." And I was like, "So you're telling me I did all this work for nothing?"
Yeah, I mean it's a healthy balance for sure. You can't constantly throw like. It doesn't even have to be action necessarily, or it doesn't even have to be fights necessarily. It could just be general action, but you can't just keep throwing action at your group all the time, because then the risk reward gets out of whack, because the reward, one of the two, either the risk is too high and the reward's not good enough, or the reward feels unearned because the risk is so easy because you keep throwing so much shit at them. So it's like you throw the balance off, and then you also threw the roleplay vibe off. So yeah, you definitely want to balance it out. And then within the smaller ecosystem, I guess that was a word I chose, you don't want to have every fight be a boss fight, because then obviously nothing feels like a boss fight. If every fight's a boss fight, nothing is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, if everyone's super, no one is.
Mm-hmm.
Said by good daddy Sinestro.
You mean Syndrome?
Syndrome. That's Sinestro.
Sinestro.
Hello. Who's Sinestro? Sinestro's something else.
The guy
Sinestro.
from The
Green Lantern,
Incredibles.
Yellow Lantern.
That's right. I was in the superhero realm.
You,
Syndrome.
Sort of.
you hit the board.
Yeah, exactly. I hit the board.
He hit the wrong board though.
You're the other guy.
I mean, I was in the
Dark.
DC zone, but I was still like superhero stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
That just reminded
It's the
me
S
of
names,
when
man.
I wouldn't when I was in basic, I was like, man, they talk awful lot about when you're at the firing range about how people just hit the wrong fucking target sometimes.
LOL.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember counting my shots after I was done the first time. I'm like, there's 4 extra shots here.
You're like, these aren't mine.
These aren't mine.
How do you fuck that up? You're like oh, what that thing over that's about 30 degrees to my due west? That looks cool too. I might shoot that one.
I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Good question.
Fucking goddamn it, U.S. military.
I mean, is it the U.S. military or who they take on?
You know, little column A, little column B. I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you got, you know, on one end, you know, you got the people who are like, you know, it's fine. But then, like, you just do that thing. It's like, I need an explanation. No, you don't need an explanation. You should do what I said. I'm like, what the fuck? But then you also have people where it's like, hey, Sarge, flags the line. You're like, oh wait, no, oh, shit.
Hey, listen. You know, the Air Force is supposed to have the smart people in it.
Yeah, supposed to.
Does it? I don't like that pause. I don't like that pause.
Well,
Listen, Matt, I want you to know that I've been working for the School of the Air Force since I've never stopped going to school, apparently. Not a moment in my life. I started school and I ended working in school. I've seen their test scores.
Yes.
Yes and no.
Like,
pain.
Listen,
pain.
I've known people to get drunk and go, let's do an experiment. What happens if we microwave our ID card?
What? What?
excuse me.
I like that.
Then to give a little context, there's a chip in our ID cards because we use them to scan through locks and to scan into our computers. So if you do that, you're dumb. You're real dumb. Don't microwave
I don't know
your
why
ID
I
card.
imagine.
They do not last very well.
I like imagine them like
Last
it's the
real-
two
last
scenes
real.
of the two guys who are like, all right, let's throw our ID cards in the microwave. Yeah, and then it like spins, transitions into them like in the microwave, and then Highway to the Danger Zones just starts playing because their fucking airport is like dun 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 dun.
We should totally put our ID cards in the microwave. Cuts to the barracks on fire. I can't believe that didn't work. You know, I just thought.
I think it did set off the fire alarm.
Oh
Probably.
my god.
Oops.
I'm pretty sure I had to stand outside for about 2 hours because of that one.
Fucking nice. So yeah, here guys, the risk was we put our ID cards in the microwave. The
The
reward,
reward was everybody else got fucked.
everyone else got sunshine for a little bit.
Sunshine. It was like 2 a.m.
Oops.
in the
Murder.
winter, so it wasn't exactly warm.
I would have to find the fucking the recruit who did that and murder them.
Same.
It's like no, you're done. You gotta go. You gotta go. I'm sorry. Just no. I don't think.
Also, like, even in basic, I had stupid people. Like there's the flag and the firing line, but like during our second week, you're supposed to be asleep by 9. Like you're not supposed to be talking. You're not supposed to be like fucking with your shit. You're not supposed to be doing anything. You're supposed to be sleeping. Everybody was up, just talking or doing things, putting clothes away, rolling clothes, whatever. And then just a captain comes through and just starts screaming at people. I'm just laying in bed. I hear the first yell, and I'm like, nope, I'm pretending I'm asleep. Good night. Close my eyes.
Good night.
And rolled over. The next day, everybody got reamed, but me and like 2 other people. So that was a good time. You know, fuck around, find out. Is that basically what this episode is?
Fuck
Players fucking around and find out.
Yeah. I think players, GMs fucking around, finding out.
Yeah. Yeah, just you know, that just clicked just now. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been making the joke about like everything is risk and reward, and I was like, yes, this is why I wanted to call it risk reward, because it is this weird universal cause and effect. You know, we could have
everything's a dungeon.
Yeah, I mean,
everything's a dungeon. Correct.
It is.
Correct.
Everything's a dungeon.
Your mom's a dungeon.
Oh, fucking got him.
No, we can't. Those jokes have been tainted. We can't do this anymore.
Why have they been tainted? What's wrong? What's wrong with
no, not right now.
We can't do that podcast.
Can't do this right now.
on the podcast? What's wrong? What's wrong?
I will tell you the second we stop recording.
I am terrified to know.
It was so fucking
Isaiah,
funny.
take us
dude.
out of here.
Okay, we're gonna cut a little early this time, but it's okay. We'll be back
Or
next
don't.
week.
Let's
y'all.
have something else. I don't know.
Oh,
no,
no
come back
final
and listen to
thoughts.
us.
Like,
We
well,
love
you
you.
know, what did I learn today, Jim?
What did I learn today?
What I learned today as a GM,
What I learned
always
today in
put your
boating
players'
school
favorite
is-
NPCs at risk.
Oh.
That will get them to do whatever you want. Put their boyfriend at risk.
You know what? Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea. I'm gonna two of my
does
players
help.
are dating NPCs. I gotta do that. Although actually, one of my players is also pretending to date another player. So now, I gotta figure out that one.
Okay. This, all right. Before we go, I have to ask you this question. I'm not sure if you guys have had this happen, but I'm sure someone must have. Having a character like date an NPC. Yes, obviously you have to like separate, yada yada. But have you ever like? I'm assuming you guys have this thing where you're like, this is a wild situation.
Oh god. Yes.
Yeah.
I had the my buddy Chris, and he was dating at the time I've told you guys I did the Tabaxi twins NPC
Yeah.
that the players, they were like part of the Thieves Guild, and players really, you know, they really latched onto them. And the girl was dating, and this is the player that was playing the Kenrin, the Jackal Man. So there was like one time where the party, we're all having a conversation in the NPC and the character's bedroom, and the character's like, all right guys, I'm gonna need you guys to leave the room right now, and you know, when I turn around, everybody better be out. I think all the players like rolled really high stealth checks and just hid in his closet.
Oh my god.
And so he's a monk, so he has really good perception, and just happened to like low really badly, I think. And so he's just like, well, I suppose they're gone. And then the NPC's like, well, we are alone. And he's just like, no. And I'm just like both of us are dying, because I'm just like, And then because they're rogues, the joke was like, all right, Matt, I roll sleight of hand to make sure the knots are tied just tight enough. I'm just like, can we? I'm like, Chris, can we not? Not?
I mean, if you're referring to characters banging specifically, no, I have not run into this problem.
No, not banging, just like dating or being
Just
romantically
dating,
inclined.
any
No.
funny,
nothing.
awkward moments or something like that, while half the party is in the closet watching one
No.
NPC smash another character.
Sam, have you ever had to deal with that?
No.
No romance.
No romance.
Damn.
Okay, so I have 2 stories about this before we tighten it up. But the first of which, I was playing in a game that unfortunately ended quite weirdly. But my character is just this, like, it was playing Samir, so like gambling addict, super fucking effeminate, super fabulous. And this character like walks up, this like young man, and he's like, oh, so I really like, I feel like I have to tell you something important. Like I have to meet you later. And he was like, yeah, okay. Meanwhile, like my character had been like sneaking up to him to steal from him, to just straight up fucking pickpocket his ass. And he's like, I gotta talk to you. And I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'll just pickpocket his ass. Or I'll smash. I don't really care which. And then I meet the guy later and he's like, can we go to your room? And I was like, okay. All right, this is fine. Not what I expected, but it's all right. And then like the characters are talking. He's like, look, I was supposed to come here to seduce you, but I was actually I'm just gonna tell you, like, all your friends are in danger. And I was like, so I know this is the GM being like, this was like, haha, funny red herring. And I was like, so we're not smashing? And he was like, oh, well, I didn't think you'd want, because I was gonna betray you. And I was like, no. It's good. It's fine.
It's fine.
You
I'll
didn't
get
betray
over
me.
it.
And if you did, I would have killed you. So we're good. And he was like, I don't, oh no. And I was like, yeah,
I didn't think I'd get this far.
Yeah, exactly. So I just kept making it really awkward. And so the GM's like, I cannot do this anymore. Fade to black, please. And I was like, fuck yeah, I got him. It was very funny. Every player character in that session smashed for some reason. Like we jokingly called that session "Welcome to Fucktown" because it just got so
Jesus
out of control.
Christ.
It got so out of control.
Oh,
Wow.
We all sat there being like, why? What? We don't know. We literally don't know why it happened. It just sort of ended up that way. Because like my character smashed, two other characters got together who were together, two other characters ended up smashing. And then it was one player and a player who wasn't there. And this player, she had been sending out signals that her character was attracted to a different character since like the campaign started. It was like this weird like tsundere, like I hate you, but I also think you're kind of hot because you're a big buff demon man. And she was
You
like,
do be like that
"Fuck it."
sometimes.
My character sneaks into this character's room, and we're like, oh no,
my.
is he awake? And she's like, oh shit, I don't know. Can we text? This is Brett's character. We're like, can we text Brett? Can we see if his character's down to smash? I don't want to smash this character if he's not down for it. And we were like, hey, yo, Brett, are you down to smash right now?
I think
He's
you've mentioned I remember this one.
And we were
Yeah.
like, Tobias is finna get smashed. Is you down? Yes or no? It's Lula. And he was like,
I fucking guess.
I guess. Yeah, sure, fine, fuck it. And we were like, we're smashing, boys.
Nice. God,
Oh my god, I loved it. It was so funny.
it's gonna be so weird with the Strixhaven thing because they give you a shit ton of NPCs and they have the whole relationship system. And because some of my players are doing the relationship system, it's like, all right, so eventually this is gonna happen. And because it's like, you know, horny teens at college, and I'm like, oh no, and it's magic college.
Gonna see some creative uses of alter self.
Yeah.
Alter D's nuts, literally.
God. What was that one scene from The Witcher when they just made the whole fucking illusion audience?
Yeah.
No,
Oh
it
my
wasn't a
God.
fake. No, it wasn't a fake audience. She brainwashed them all to have an orgy.
Oh, that's right.
No, I'm talking about the part in the cave.
In the cave.
Yeah, when she was
that's
banging. I
right.
forgot what her for.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
What was that all about? Yeah, what the fuck?
She just has a. What, I don't know. What do you call that?
A
Isaiah, when
voyeurism
someone-
fetish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like people watching you.
We've gone
whole
down.
lot of people.
We've gone down a weird road.
We did.
Yeah, I can't actually remember my second story now.
Well,
I don't know.
what's the risk of players smashing NPCs? No.
I mean,
Depends. It depends.
yeah, no, I can't remember the second story. All right, well, fuck it. I guess there was something there. Never mind. All right, well, that's us. It's been sessions canceled. If you want to look us up because you like hearing our voices, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Tweetar. We don't usually do. We send clips there. It's fine. Yeah. Follow us on the socials.
We
Subscribe.
are on several other podcast platforms, not just Spotify.
True. We are also on several other podcast platforms.
All the usual big boys.
Yeah, anywhere you can find podcasts, you will find us. So yeah,
That's a
If you
partial lie,
subscribe-
but it's fine.
sir, I'm doing the outro. Yeah. Give us a listen. Give us a subscribe. If there's a rating, why don't you give us a rating if you like the way we sound? And if you're down to listen to watch, I don't know where I was going with this.
I don't know.
If you like the podcast, why don't you give us a good rating? It'll help us out a lot. But yeah, that's been us. That's been Such Scantles. We will see y'all later. Bye.
Or maybe never again
Bye.
if we all explode in the heat death of the universe.
No, it'll be fine. Bye.
Put the IDs in the microwave. Gonna take all that.
Fuck, we're done. We're out of here.